On to question number 76, Deputy Conway is in presence, so then we go on to question number 77 in the name of Deputy Sean Kyne. I ask Deputy Kyne to introduce the question.
I'd like to ask the Minister the progress on the central digitised database for the inspection reports of childcare facilities being sent to Pobble. Is very important, obviously, Minister, in light of this year's revelations and prime time, etc.
Thank you. Minister.
Thank you, Deputy Kyne. Preschool services are required under the Childcare Act, the Preschool Services No. 2 Regulation 2006, to notify their service to the Health Service Executive, and they are subject to inspection, as you say, by the preschool inspectors on a regular basis. The inspection reports were generally held in the past by the inspectors in paper format, and access to these reports had been an issue of concern. As you know, many parents still had to go the FOI route. As part of the comprehensive preschool quality agenda, which I announced and which is 8 different initiatives, I asked the HSE to prepare those reports so that they could go online. I'm very pleased to report that in July of this year, the HSE commenced publication of retrospective preschool inspection reports online. And since July, we now have 1,912 preschool inspection reports published online. So that's 1,877 retrospective reports for the period up to the 1st of July. I also gave a commitment that any new reports that were being done would also be put online as they were done. And I want to thank the inspectors and the HSE and the staff of the HSE. This has been a mammoth task because, as you can imagine, we had paper reports. They needed to be put online in a suitable format. And we now have 1,877 retrospective reports from around the country and 35 new reports which were completed from that date. I would also say, of course, that parents should ask their local childcare providers, for a copy of the report from their service, and the vast majority, indeed if not all, providers will give parents the most up-to-date report. I think it's an important part of information that parents should have, that they would know what the reports are saying about their service, and indeed many services have now started just publishing them or making them available when parents go into the service. Pobble is hosting the publication of the reports, and they are available on the Pobble website.
Thank you, Minister. I've called Deputy Kyne if you wish to supplementary.
Thank you, Minister. I'd like to welcome the fact that 1,912 of these documents are now online. It's a very important asset to parents to know what is happening in their childcare facility, indeed for parents who are thinking of sending their children to a new facility. The new system of registration of the country's 4,000 childcare facilities will be with the Child and Family agencies from January, I understand. And I understand that the requirements are to re-register, once they register next year, that there will be re-registration every 3 years. Do you believe that within that 3 years every facility will be inspected going forward? And do you actually believe that we need to move to a system over time that every facility is inspected every year?
Minister.
Well, I think that's an interesting question. It varies from country to country. I think in some services here, we have a higher rate of inspection, for example, than in the UK, that has a rolling system of about 18 months to 2 years. Now, if there's a problem in a service, what happens at present is the inspectors go back in and check out that improvements have been made, so you can have more than one visit in certain services. I think as we have these services registered, they will now have to register. I do believe every service will be registered in the time frame which we have outlined. I think in terms of the working model about numbers of inspections, I think given that we have 4,500 childcare services, I think once a year is probably not to be expected, but that you would have rolling registration, and of course if there were any particular, or I should say rolling inspection, and if there were any particular difficulties, that then you would have extra inspections, or certainly that inspectors would go back if there were complaints from parents or if there were any concerns that were noted in a given area. And you also, of course, have the local childcare committees who should have a very good experience of knowing the state of services in their own area, and if there were particular concerns, to draw attention to them.
Thank you, Ms.
Just to say that we are at present at an advanced stage of recruiting 5 additional inspectors in areas where gaps have been identified. That's Louth, Dublin South East, East Wicklow, Cavan, Monaghan, Sligo, Leitrim, West Cavan.
Thank you,
And
Minister.
we do have a budgetary allocation in 214 to, it's an allocation of 500,000 to further increase staffing levels to strengthen the preschool inspection scheme. So as those inspectors get into place, I think we will be in a better position to examine how frequently the services can be inspected, and that would be a more realistic assessment than has been possible up to now.